Hey everyone, this is Jesse from Imdone, and I'm here to show you today a couple of features in Imdone 1.47 that I added to make it easier for me to integrate between my Kanban board, or the planning aspect of what I do, to the actual delivery of what I do in VS Code. So I'm hoping that these features work just as well for you, and I'm going to walk you through a couple of them right now. But before I do, I just want to ask you to please hit like if you like this video or leave a comment. I'm always open to suggestions. And without further ado, here we go. So I'm planning to add this new feature. What it's going to do is add on hover for these actions in the main menu. I want to add the keyboard actions. So these do I have to press to get these things to happen, like adding a card. It's already available in the help menu over here, but the keyboard help, but I want to make it a little bit easier for people to get used to it and form habits around it. So, and for me, because I forget sometimes. So it's something that's needed. And the way I went about it is I started planning first by adding a card where this thing's going to start from. Kind of the obvious place would be in the code that produces this main menu. So this card right here is in that main menu file. Well, and I've added a couple other tasks that I have to do to make that happen in a couple other places, maybe in the same file or in separate files. And I've attached them together using what's called an epic. So let's first look at the epic. So to create an epic or a grouping of other tasks, you have to have a card that has an isEpic metadata, and you can set it to any string you want. So now for the really cool feature, I'll show you first how I get to work blazing fast, and then I'll show you more about epics. So check this out. For all the cards that you have filtered on your board, right now I have it filtered for my epics. I can open all of these cards at once in VS Code, or any editor for that matter if you have it configured with Imdone to open in that editor. So check this out. I'm going to hit Command-Shift-O, and it's opening both of those. Let's see that again. I'm going to close all the files in VS Code. Command-Shift-O opens everything. Now, I was talking about epics before. You can see that the actual epic is this card right here. It's a comment in some view code, and it has an isEpic metadata. I use that same metadata, that same title, in other places as epic metadata. So the epic itself is called isEpic, and each of its children should have an epic metadata. Now, Imdone has some really cool autocomplete for that. So if I were just looking here at the actual epic itself and editing it, if I went to add epic, I could see right here what the epics are. So I'll just select the right one, save it, and back out. So that's really cool. A feature I'm going to add to VS Code in the future is some autocomplete on epics and on tags. So be on the lookout for that. It might be coming for you in 1.49. Anyway, back to what we were talking about before. That's just how to tie these things together as epics. Now, really cool that I can get to these cards. I can get to any card if I want to get to it. So make this its own function so it can be used for hints. I can get to that card with just Command-O. It'll bring me right to that card. Right? So I can do the same with this one. It's taking me to that card. I'm going to go back to this one. It's taking me to that card. Now for the VS Code extension. I've created a new extension. It is called Imdone Code Companion. And what Imdone Code Companion is a way to get directly back to Imdone's board to the card from VS Code. So we have backwards linking back to Imdone. So notice how this is highlighted. If I disabled this extension, it's no longer it'll no longer be highlighted. I'm going to restart it. See if it removes that highlighting. There we go. So when I now enable this extension and restart it, let's close these files and get them to come back. Okay, so now the extension's enabled, installed and enabled. If I hit Control I in any one of these cards, it's going to take me to that card and I'm done. So show actions in key menu. Before I click Control I, I'm just going to show you where I am on the board. I'm going to be here. Well, let's actually go to the videos I'm working on with you right now. Open all files for cards on board to get working immediately. That's what I was just sharing with you. I'm going to just land here, and now I'll hit Control I and watch what happens. Right to the card that I was in. So I could be working on anything and it's going to take me right back there. Why is this great? Because it gives me a full loop from the code to planning, planning to the code. That way I can plan things out in short increments, get the work done, and move on to the next thing. Much better than working with Jira. For me, anyway, much better working with than working with GitHub issues for me. And for this type of work that we're doing as individuals, right? So that's it. That's the I'm Done Code Companion and opening cards, all cards on the board immediately with a keyboard action. The next thing I want to share with you is a little tidbit in here called the header footer plugin. You're probably wondering, how am I getting this little icon to appear? I didn't see it. You might be wondering to yourself. I didn't see it in the code. There's no emoji in here, right? So in my Kanban board for I'm Done, I have features that I'm working on that are in Markdown files, and I have tasks in code. These are all in code. And I can tell they're all in code because they have that emoji. I got that emoji there by using the header footer plugin. The header footer plugin can be installed through plugins. Right here is the header footer plugin. And you can see this long string here. Well, if you're a developer, you know what this is if you use JavaScript. This is a ternary operator, I think is what they call it. This is when you have a question mark, you have a test, if that test is successful, what to do, and if that test is false, what to do. So what we're checking for here is that if the text src is in the relative path of the task, then show this, which is a markdown heading number 2, and the hammer and wrench in bold. Okay, otherwise don't show anything. So this first part is doing a string replacement on this test, and it's going to replace it with these things. What that amounts to is, if it's in the source folder, it's going to show up with a hammer and wrench. That's how I signify the difference between my tasks in code and my features, just for visual preference. Some more things I have. If the tags include bug, show a bug emoji. If tags include experiment, show a test tube emoji. If tags include urgent, show an exclamation. And if there's a reminder, meta.remind, then show an alarm clock. So pretty cool stuff. They can be combined too. So you can see some reminders here. This is a reminder. This was for launching 1.47. You can see this has a reminder. This has an exclamation point. This has a bug. You can see there's no bug icon in this. So that's how the header footer plugin works. Next time I'm around, I'm going to share with you another feature from 1.47 that allows you to integrate nicely with LogSec. One of my LogSec customers recommended this. and it is what is called a custom token prefix. So the thing that appears right before the to-do item, you have control over that now. Well, thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed this. Like I said again, hit like if you like this, comment if you can, and join my mailing list. It's in my bio. Thank you so much. Have a good week. See you soon.